This is John Colo with DiscountJuicers.com. Today I have another exciting episode for you, and I'm so excited about this one. The Omega Vert juice is already my favorite juice already, but Omega took the Omega Vert and now they made it even better with the brand new model. This is the Omega Vert 400 HDS. So the HD stands for the heavy duty screen and the S stands for the silver color. So what this video is going to be about is we're going to unbox the brand new Omega Vert 400 HDS, and I'm actually going to juice in it today. So first, let's go ahead and open this box and see what we got. Now, the Omega Vert 400 is the same as all the other Omega Vert juicers. It's a slow speed or slow juicer running at 80 RPMs, and that's a vertical single auger style machine. This is a really good juicer to maximize the nutrition in the juice because high speed juicers tend to oxidize the juice more, add more oxygen to the juice and froth up your juice, and also it lowers the amount of nutrition. The slow speed juicers do their slow and gentle crushing and squeezing of the juice will provide you the most nutrition. And that's why this style juicer is a favorite kind of juicer I use in my home, because I want to preserve the most nutrition, because after all, I'm juicing for the nutrients, not just to drink the juice. In some studies I have seen, it shows that slow juicers can produce 50% or more of certain nutrients extracted, like the minerals. And although the yields may be comparable, the juice is much more nutritious. So I think it's far better to juice in a slow speed juicer than one of those high speed juicers that also can sound like an airplane taken off in your kitchen. So the slow speed juicers are generally good for juicing things like leafy greens and vegetables and hard firm fruits. They don't do good at soft fruits at all. They tend to make more of an apple sauce than an apple juice. And every juicer has its pros and cons. Much like a pair of shoes. You might have a pair of shoes that go running. You might have a pair of shoes that go to the beach in. You might have a pair of shoes to go to a wedding in. The juice is the same way, and I have a selection of juicers in my kitchen, and I select the best one that's going to do the right for me at that time. That being said, I think the Omega Vert, if you can live with a few compromises, is an excellent single juicer to own. The main problems that you're going to see with the Omega Vert is, number one, it does produce a pulpier juice than other juicers, and this definitely depends on the produce you're using and how you use the machine. If you use the machine properly, like I show in my video entitled Omega Vert Best Practices, you're going to reduce the amount of pulp in the juice, and you're going to get the best and use out of this machine. Another issue this does have is that it can get clogged because the pulp has to not only come out a straight ejection port, it has to actually come down and go out at a right angle. So the pulp ejection port can get clogged in these machines once again if you're not using it properly, like properly cutting up your produce into 1/8-inch pieces that I recommend, or juicing baby greens that I'll be doing today because they are so soft and tender they don't need to be cut. In any case, enough chatting. Let's go ahead and open this guy up and see what comes with the Omega Vert 400. So let's see. Instantly we'll open it up and you'll get the pusher here to push the produce into the machine. Now the number one thing I recommend is that you actually don't use the pusher. If you use the pusher to push each and everything in the juicer, in my opinion, you're feeding things in too quickly. You should be able to literally drop things in the Omega Vert and it's literally self-feeding without the pusher. So throw the pusher away, you don't need it. The only reason you'll ever need the pusher is if something actually gets stuck in the feed chute and you need to dislodge it. In addition, you get a nice cleaning brush. This cleaning brush is imperative for cleaning out the little spout of the machine where the pulp comes out with the little screwdriver end. And also the little brush is very important to clean your screen after each and every use. This is basically an oversized toothbrush with nice stiff nylon bristles. Next, let's go ahead and open this up. And one of the things I like is that Omega is using basically paperboard for packing. They're not using the styrofoam packing, which basically doesn't degrade in the landfill. So I really admire that. You can compost this yourself or recycle this if you have recycling in your area. Alright, so here is the baby right here, the Omega Vert 400, seen on YouTube in a demonstration like this for the first time. Let's see, all wrapped up, all brand new. See, it's 60 hertz, 150 watts, 120 volts. And take this baby off. You know, now this machine pretty much looks similar to the original Vert 350, and I will have a video soon comparing the Vert 400 to the 350. Basically, it has an on and off reverse on the back and just your standard motor body here. It's actually fairly heavy. I'd probably say roughly, I don't know, maybe 18 pounds right there. It's a nice little mass of weight, mostly motor power. All right, going to the other side here, unboxing. We got this. Now this is an upgrade that I've asked Omega about to include since they came out with the Omega Vert. And I'm really happy that they finally are including it with the juicer, because I always recommend you guys go out and buy an additional strainer if you do purchase an Omega Vert, because the juice is fairly pulpy and a strainer is something simple and easy you can use to strain out the pulp. So they now are including a stainless steel strainer that'll fit in to the juice catch cup. Like that a lot. Of course, next in this little box here, we got the juice catch cups. And here's the two different size juice catch cups. One is for the juice, which is the small one that has a smaller handle. And then they give you actually a larger pulp catch container. So this catches all the pulp, this catches all the juice, and check this little thing out. This thing fits right in there. Although it might not be the best idea to put this on top and then juice through it into the carafe. I'll explain more about that when I'm demonstrating. Let's see, next it looks like they are including the large hole screen with this machine. And the large hole screen is the yellow non-translucent screen. This has large holes if you want more pulp in your juice. Some people find this useful when juicing fruits. Now this is a non-HD screen, which means it's not as strong and durable as the heavy-duty screen and may tend to break on you. That being said, this whole machine has a full 10-year warranty on the entire thing due to manufacturer's defects. So if the screen should break during normal use, Omega will cover it under warranty. Finally, we got the heart of the juicer right here, coming right out. This is the main juicing body. Here it is. All right, let's go ahead and move the box off the table. And this is it. So, oh wow, man, this is cool. The pulp outlet port looks considerably enlarged compared to the original Vert 350. And also the new thing on the Vert 400 HDS has this little flap here. So this little flap is very convenient, because what it does is once you're done juicing, you can put the flap down so you won't drip on your countertop, which is nice because I normally put the pulp bin under the other side. The other thing it'll allow you to do is make things like, kind of like smoothies inside your juicer. It'll allow you to juice everything and have it mix inside the machine and then release it so that you'll have a pre-mixed juice coming right out. Also, it'll allow you to make things like nut milks, fruit infused nut milks and nut milks in the Omega Vert much more easily. So another thing new on the Omega Vert 400 compared to the original 330 and 350 models is that this just sits on the top there. On the older models, you'd actually have to turn and spin this, and one of the challenges people were having is sometimes it would get stuck, but this just sits on the top. That being said, remember not to pick it up like this, because you're not going to pick up the motor body. So let's see, let's go ahead and disassemble this. You basically turn this top part to disassemble. So once again, on this top piece here, there's a little white arrow. You need to line up the white arrow there with the white arrow that's right above the juice spout. It says open. You're going to put it on there and then rotate this over to where it says close, and then basically you're ready to go. If you do not assemble this properly, it will not come on. So the first step is, if it won't turn on, is to take it apart, reassemble it, and make sure you did that properly. Let's go ahead and take this apart and check out some of the other parts in here. Well, you know, pretty much basically this looks like the original Omega Vert inside. We have the standard auger. This is the HD auger, 8 times harder plastic, really durable. In addition, we have a screen. So the original screen on the Vert 350 and 330 HD or 350W models are the yellow translucent. This is actually a smoke translucent color. This is also an HD screen. So if you have the smoke translucent color or the yellow translucent color, it is an HD screen, which is 8 times harder plastic. In addition, you have a wiping blade. The wiping blade on this unit is gray in color with yellow silicone wiping blades. I like this design here because what this wiping blade does, it goes around as the juicer's running, and it keeps your screen clean, much like the windshield wiper bars on your car keeps the rain off. So this will ensure you can get the highest yield and things aren't going to get crudted up and blocked in your screen. Next, we're going to take a look at the juicing bowl, and this is probably the biggest area change because up to this point, all the parts are fairly similar aside from the drop-in, and non-twist action, which is nice. But the bowl is a little bit different. Now, for one thing, they move the gear to the back. Now, this gear in the back maybe produces less pulp in the juice, although the current Omega Vert models also has this gear in the back. When the Omega Vert first came out, the gear was more in the front towards where the juice came out, and this would maybe get more pulp in the juice. Because they moved it to the back, it has reduced the amount of pulp in the juice. So whether you get this model or the original Vert 350 or 330 series, this will now be in the back. Now, in addition, it looks like their little pulp flap here is pretty much the same. This little yellow pulp flap, it comes in and out. I recently had a rash of customers say, "John, am I supposed to remove this flap? It looks flimsy." I'm like, no, you need to take that out every single time you want to clean, because if you don't take this out to clean, it's going to be really a pain in the butt to clean. But if you just remove that out, you could get in here with the screwdriver in here to clean this out. And one of the nice things is, although the opening here looks to be the same, they did expand the opening of the pulp outlet port here. This is actually considerably bigger. I'd estimate maybe 20 to 30% bigger and larger. In addition, it looks like they actually improved this little bushing here. It used to be like a single bushing. Now they have like 3 different distinct layers to prevent leakage out the middle of the bowl. So I like that a lot because that was an issue. Now I find that's particularly an issue if you're not using the machine properly. If you back things up, you're feeding things in too fast, then the juice has to go somewhere. If it's not coming out the spout, it's actually going to come out this seal in the middle, but they now have improved that with this model. And finally, the major difference here is this little plug here. So this plug here will prevent dripping when you're juicing, but the main benefit is you could do juice mixes inside the bowl instead of inside the catch cup, and also you'll be able to do things like nut milks a lot better and infuse nut milks with fruit in this machine. So basically, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot new and totally new and different. It is definitely the new model, has a few new features, a few more added conveniences, a little bit more dialed in, but you're going to pay more for this. So I guess the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and assemble this machine and then make some juice for you to show you how it works. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to juice in the all-new Omega Vert 400 Juicer. But before I do, I want to show you guys the assembly. The assembly is a piece of cake. Although if you're doing it for the first time, you need to pay attention to the directions that I'm going to share with you right now. It is really easy, but just like walking, you might have fell over the first time. The first time I picked up an Omega Vert, I'm like, this thing is too hard to assemble. But once you get the hang of it, once somebody shows you how to do it, it's a piece of cake. And they made it actually even easier with the all-new Omega Vert 400 over the original 330 and 350 models. So the first thing is this juicing bowl. All you gotta do is simply take the juicing bowl and you're gonna line up these 2 little slots here with that, and it goes in like that. There's no going down and turning or anything. Just set it on, you're ready to go. Oh, the other thing I do want to point out is that you want to always make sure this yellow pulp flap is stuck all the way in. What this pulp flap does, it keeps pressure on the pulp inside the machine to ensure you're going to get the maximum extraction out of your juicer. Next, we got the standard wiping blade. This keeps your screen clean. You're going to go ahead and insert the screen right in through there like that. Then you're going to find the little white arrow, and you're going to direct that arrow to the arrow over on the side of the machine that's right above the juicing spout, and it says open. That just kind of locks into place there. You're then going to take the auger, drop the auger right in there, make sure it's fully seated. If it's not fully seated, the top won't go on. Finally, you're going to take the top. Once again, there's a little white arrow. You're going to line up that arrow with the little white arrow on top of the screen, which is also corresponding with the white arrow on top of the bowl. And that's open, and then you're just going to rotate it to close. If you did this properly, you'll be able to turn the machine on, and it turns on. I like that this machine runs at a low 80 RPMs and is much more quiet than the high-speed juicers on the market that may wake up your family members when they're trying to sleep in the morning when you're trying to make your juice so that you can be healthy. Hey, I recommend that you actually make some extra juice for them so when they wake up they get out some fresh, delicious fruit and vegetable juices. So next we're going to go ahead and juice in the Omega Vert 400. Now I always recommend you guys use the proper procedures to juice, and unfortunately I personally don't believe they're explained in the instruction booklet that comes with the machine. So be sure to check my videos entitled Omega Vert Juicer Best Practices to see how to do that. I'll go ahead and give you a quick rundown. What I'm going to juice today is I'm going to juice some carrots. I got the baby carrots. I like to juice the baby carrots because they're pre-cut and pre-washed. It makes juicing a lot easier when you have things already pre-cut and pre-washed. You don't have to wash it or cut it. I like to get the organic baby carrots at the Costco. You know, they're normally about $5 for 5 pounds, which is a good price. If you want to wash your carrots and save some more money, you could actually get 10 pounds for about $5 at Costco as well of the organic non-baby carrots that are full size. Besides the baby carrots, which are high in carotenoids, I'm going to juice some spinach today. Popeye ate spinach and he got really strong, and actually I'm pretty strong too for eating my spinach as well. But spinach is a great leafy green vegetable. Leafy green vegetables are the most nutrient dense foods on the planet. What does that mean? Nutrient dense means it has a lot of nutrients per calorie. Calorically dense foods are things like McDonald's and fast foods, processed foods that have a lot of calories but not a lot of nutrition. And I mean, virtually all the foods you're going to be putting through the Omega Vert Juicer are nutrient dense foods. The leafy greens are the most nutrient dense. So that's what I recommend you guys focus on, because most people do not get enough leafy greens in their diet. My goal every day is to get 2 pounds of leafy greens in me. In this one juice that I'm making now, I'll be juicing this whole pound of baby spinach. That being said, I am juicing the baby spinach, and the baby greens tend to juice really well in the Omega Vert. But if I am juicing regular spinach, kale, or even celery, you do have to pre-cut those into small pieces. Once again, check my other videos entitled Best Practices Omega Vert to learn more about how to properly use the machine. In addition, I want to add some good water content to my juice, and I love juicing cucumbers for their delicious water content. They're a neutral vegetable, aren't going to really make your juice taste like anything much, but just kind of neutral and some nice delicious water that's filtered through the cucumber plant. And finally, for some sweetness, I'm going to add some apples today. I'm adding only 3. You may need to add a lot more if you're new into juicing, because some of the greens don't necessarily taste that good until you get used to them. But I'm just going to juice 3 apples, and that's going to be plenty for me. So what we're going to first do is, I guess, go ahead and we're going to have to cut up some of the apples here to fit into the juicer. And as long as the apples will fit in the feed chute, you're really good. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is that when you are selecting apples to juice, it's very important to select apples that are nice, hard, and firm. If you could go to the store and you pick up the apple and you could actually, put your finger into the apple, like dent it, like actually I can't do that on these. These are a little bit softer apples. They're going to tend to make more of an apple sauce than an apple juice, especially when using a slow juicer like the Omega Vert Juicer. So if you do get soft apples, it's very important to rotate feeding. So I'm going to feed not all the apples and then a carrot. I'm going to feed a piece of apple, a piece of carrot, a piece of cucumber, and some spinach, and I'm going to continue to rotate until I'm all out of produce. This is the best way to assure you're going to get the best results. So we're just going to go ahead and slice this cucumber in half and put a couple pieces in at one time. I see there's a couple bad spots on the cucumber, so I always like to cut out the bad spots and then instead of having it go into my juice. The carrots, once again, are very simple. And whenever juicing anything in the Omega Vert, if you want to get better results, add some carrots. The carrots add a nice hard fibrous material that help flush through the machine to keep it running properly. So I guess on with the show. We're going to go ahead and juice, turn the machine on. The first thing I always like to juice is my leafy greens. So I'll take a handful of the leafy greens. Once again, we got the little baby spinach leaves that we do not have to do anything with, because once again, these are pre-washed and ready to go. We're just going to shove those into the feed chute. Then I'm going to go ahead and take an apple, and yes, I'm putting the seeds and all in there. The machine can handle the seeds, no problem. Then we're going to go ahead and take a carrot. So as you can see, I'm rotating the different things that I'm putting in there. Next, we're gonna go ahead and put a piece of cucumber. Oh, and check it out, I have this little pulp flap down so it's actually collecting inside the juicer and mixing it up for me so I don't have to. Next, we're gonna dump the apple in, and then another carrot, and once again, some more spinach. Now that's the benefit of the new Omega Vert 400. You have this little flap here, and it keeps all the juice inside there mixing for you. Of course, there's a maximum fill line that you don't want it to get up too tall before releasing it, because then you'll start getting backup. So I think we'll juice a little bit more and then we'll let it finally release into the juice catch cup. Now, as you can see, I'm using the actual the screen here on top of the juice catch cup, but what I would advise you to do is actually juice into your juice cup and then actually use this screen to strain it out after the fact, because this may get clogged up with pulp when you're juicing. You may have to empty it several times. So we're just going to go ahead and leave it off for now. Now we're going to go ahead and open that up. Look at all that juice flow out. It's already nice and pre-mixed. So I mean, pretty much all I'm going to do now is I'm going to just rotate what I'm feeding in. Rotate some spinach, put a carrot in there, put an apple. We're going to go ahead and put a piece of cucumber. And now I'm going to go ahead and start again with some spinach. This is the most important technique to use in any vertical single auger style juicer for the best results. And I do want to take a minute to mention that, you know, the Omega Vert juicers are the original design on the vertical style single auger style machines. There's many different knockoffs, and in my opinion, of all the ones I've tested, the Omega Verts still work the best overall. I mean, they were the first to have this technology that juices things in this fashion, and they've really got it dialed in. Even with this last 400 model, they've even made some further improvements than over their 350, which are light years ahead of the cheap imitation Chinese knockoffs that are now coming out. So you know what, people, you guys get what you pay for. Once again, this has a nice full 10-year warranty. If you ever have any issues within 10 years, Omega will take care of this for you, so that you'll be assured you'll be able to juice for 10 years. Because in my opinion, juicing is the #1 way you can have the greatest level of health, by including these fresh fruits and fresh vegetables that most people are not eating enough of. I mean, the juicer, you want to look at it like this. I look at a juicer as an investment, and it's an investment in the most important thing I got. Not all my money in the bank, but my health, because without my health, you can't enjoy Ferraris, you can't enjoy your house, you can't enjoy your wife, you can't enjoy your kids, you can't enjoy your pets, you can't enjoy the fun things in life without your health. And I almost lost my life when I was younger, and that's why I'm so much into juicing these days, because it literally brought me back to have the healthiest state of mind, state of body that I've ever had in my life, and I feel great, and that's why I share these videos with you. In any case, I'm going to go ahead and juice the rest of this stuff, and I'll come back at you at the end once I got it all done. I'm just about done feeding things into the Omega Vert 400. As you can see, I didn't even go through all the produce I had, and I got a nice collection cup of the pulp, which is actually fairly dry. This has not got clogged up one bit. The thing I want to share with you guys is that, you know, the pulp is flowing out only half of the ejection port, not the full port. As long as pulp is flowing out of the ejection port and not just stopping up, you're good to go. And so, you know, this is just working fine. As you can see, we got all the juice over on this side, and now we're about ready to stop because we're going to overflow. Now, one of the things I want to mention is that the Omega juicers are great because it allows you to eat more fruits and vegetables than you normally could. I mean, literally, I almost juiced the whole pound of spinach in this juice. So this whole pound of spinach was now condensed into maybe about 1 cup of juice that I'll be able to drink and get the nutrition out of. Likewise with the carrots. I mean, I couldn't just sit here and eat this whole bag of baby carrots. I don't like baby carrots that much, but when you juice it, you get the nutrition from the carrots, less the fiber. Now, fiber is important. I do eat salads almost every night for dinner, but I also like to drink the fresh juices for a good shot of instant nutrition, because the juices digest much faster than the carrots would if you were to chew them up. Now, next I want to show you guys how I would use this strainer instead of sitting it on the top like many of you guys would. First, we're going to use this handy dandy flap here and close this so that we don't get any more juice drips. Then we're going to take this strainer here and put it on a catch cup right in the front there to show you guys. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to go ahead and take the juice that we just made, and it has a nice little pour spout on here. And we're going to go ahead and pour this juice right into the catch cup. Now I like to do it this way after you make the juice to kind of see what's happening, and then I'll just shake it down. This way the pulp won't all get stuck in there at once. Wow, and you know, there is a fair bit of pulp. Once again, the Omega Vert juicers are not for people that hate pulp, because these machines do make some pulp, although I am quite happy that the new VRT400 does come with this strainer. As you can see, the strainer is actually quite full of pulp now. I'm shaking this around to get some of the juice to go through the holes, and the pulp is staying in. So now with this strainer, you'll easily be able to make a pulp-free juice with the Omega VRT400. As you can see down at the end here, we are getting some foam and a whole bunch of pulp in there. And it is kind of getting stuck up. So once we got that all in there, what I like to do is just simply just tap this down like this and let it kind of like get some of that juice through there. And you know, we might have to do a second filter through again later, but I'm so thirsty right now, I just want to drink this spinach, apple, cucumber, carrot juice right now. Wow. Either I'm exceptionally hungry or that was really good. Made in the Omega VRT400 HDS juicer. Especially after using their screen, it's virtually pulp free. I taste a little bit of stuff in there because it's a little bit larger hole size than my strainer at home, but I think it's perfect. The Omega VRT400 HDS has worked really well for me this first time through. This is the first time I really used it right in front of you guys, so you guys can see what it's like. I like it a lot, and I'll probably be switching over from my Omega VRT350 to the all-new 400. Do I recommend you guys do that as well? If you already have a 350, probably not. I like the latest and greatest, and this is no major improvement over the other ones, but if you don't have the other one, you might want to consider this due to the new features that it has, also the ease of assembly. I definitely like it a lot more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode learning more about the Omega VRT400 HDS. This is John Kohler from DiscountJuicers.com. Be sure to visit DiscountJuicers.com/YouTube for special promotional offers for our YouTube visitors.